Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. I know, new book, new year, it is a brand new series. This is called Shemot Snacks. Now, I had lots of suggestions, Shemot sides, Shemot specials, Shemot substantial meals, but we went for Shemot Snacks. But don't worry, every week is going to be the same. I'm going to share with you a brand new recipe for you and your family to enjoy, which is hopefully somehow related to that week's Torah portion. Some weeks, admittedly, as we get towards the end of Shemot, might be a bit more tenuous, but certainly we're going to start off with a bang. This week, we are making something beautiful, something stunning. I know it might feel quite summary, but you know what? It's really quite special. We should really have called this Shemot Specials. But anyway, let me share with you. We are going to be making a beetroot Gravadlax. That is a salmon Gravadlax with a beautiful pink top from a beetroot accompanied by a cucumber salad. What you're going to need is as follows. You're going to need 500 grams of salmon. It's a really simple recipe. This will easily feed anybody who is allowed in your house at the moment. If you want to, you can double up or triple up the recipe. I'm using a 500 gram fillet of salmon. You're going to need some salt, some sea salt or some rock salt. You're going to need sugar, and you're going to need some beetroot. Finally, you're going to want some cling film to be able to wrap everything in. So, let's start. Get your salmon, and what you want to do is get the salmon on a big piece of cling film. Put it on here, like that. And then I like to actually take the whole cling film and put it back into the salmon dish that it came in. You see, perfect for everything else that is going to go ahead. Into a bowl, you want 50 grams of rock salt. And the rock salt is basically going to help cure the salmon. It's going to give it the most beautiful flavour, but you don't want to go OTT with your salt, otherwise it's going to be too salty. Into the bowl with the 50 grams of rock salt, you want 50 grams of white sugar. So, and that is it. Your cure is done. Give it a bit of a mix. And what you want to do is really simple. Mix it and then pour it liberally over the salmon. Get it all over the top of the salmon. Pat it down into the salmon skin. Move your salmon to one side, and this is what makes it really special. You don't have to do this bit if you don't like beetroot or you can't get hold of it, but it really does take it to the next level. Grab a beetroot and cut it quite thinly with a sharp knife so you get the beautiful, deep purple colour of the beetroot. You want to cut enough slices so that you can cover the entire top of your salmon. So hopefully I've got enough, and just layer it on top of your salmon like this. So to recap, the world's simplest recipe for something that is going to taste absolutely amazing. 50 grams of salt, 50 grams of sugar, give it a mix, put it on top of 500 grams of salmon. Slice a beetroot and cover as much of the top of the beetroot, as much of the top of the salmon as possible with the beetroot. And then put a few extra slices along the side as well. Now, this week's portion is a very famous one. In fact, we tell the story every year at Seder night. We tell how Pharaoh enslaved the Jewish people, made our lives bitter, horrible, until God finally goes to Moses and says, Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Obviously, Pharaoh says, no, I will not let them go. Setting up the scene for next week for the 10 plagues to start to kick off. It's such a famous story that actually we sometimes overlook one of the most nuanced but beautiful points and messages that actually appear in this week's portion. Because it's very easy to think all Egyptians were bad and all Jews were good. When actually that is not the case as presented in this week's Torah portion. The first moment where we see this is with the Hamyaladot Havriyot, the Hebrew midwives. Now, Pharaoh tells these midwives that if you see a Jewish woman having a baby boy, you should kill that child. And we know that the Egyptian midwives, that the Hebrew midwives do not go through with this. They are unable to do it because they believe in God or they fear the Jewish God. According to tradition, these two people were Yocheved and Miriam, the mother and the sister of Moshe. But there is a significant strand in Jewish thought, led certainly by the Malbim, a great 18th century commentator, but actually these were not Yocheved and Miriam, these were not even Jewish midwives, rather they were the Egyptian women who were made the midwives for the Hebrew congregation. They were midwives to the Hebrews as opposed to Hebrew midwives. They were Egyptian and they rebelled against Pharaoh, they rebelled against their king in order to do what is right. When Pharaoh told them to kill those young boys, they said, we can't do that, and they rebel against them, risking their own lives in order to do the correct thing. Not all Egyptians are bad. The story continues. We meet this amazing person, the daughter of Pharaoh, who according to tradition is called Batya. She sees a Jewish child floating down the Nile and she rescues that child and brings that child up as if it is her own. It was quite clear to her that this was a Jewish child, and yet she thought that she could not let this child die and instead rescues this child. Again, an Egyptian doing something good. Not all Egyptians were bad. And then finally, towards the end of this week's portion, we have what? Two Jews fighting. And we're told that one turns to the other. Rasha is called a Rasha. The first evil person in this week's portion is not an Egyptian, but is a Jew. I think the message we need to take is that we are judged not by who we are, but by how we act. If we act decently, kindly, respectfully, then we are a good person. If we act in a cruel, mean way, beating up another individual, attacking another person, then we are a Rasha, then we are an evil person. It's not who we are, it's what we do that defines who we are. Something for you to think about. Now, whilst I've been speaking, my salmon has had a chance to start absorbing that sugar and that salt in. And what you want to do is to wrap up the salmon as tightly as possible using the cling film. And you are then going to put it in the fridge and leave it for 36 to 48 hours. Personally, I leave it for 36 hours. So for I might make this on a Thursday and then deal with this on a Friday night. And every few hours you want to turn it over. Put it to one side though and get ready to make the second element. So the second element of what we are making is a cucumber salad. And this is a super simple sweet pickled cucumber salad. It's so easy. I love to have this with this dish, but to be fair, this is my go-to emergency dish. Back in the days when you used to be able to have people around and I needed a spare dish because I thought I hadn't made enough, I would make this because it is so easy, so simple. Get one cucumber. What you want to do is shave with a peeler a little pattern. So I like to do a few strips into the skin. It just makes it look nice. So once you've done that, and you can see it looks a bit like a zebra cucumber, slice it into relatively thin slices. Now you might be asking, why is it that we are doing fish and a cucumber salad this week? Well, the answer is simple. What did the Jewish people eat when they were slaves in the land of Egypt? Well, we wouldn't know if it wasn't for the fact that the Jewish people actually tell us what they ate when we get to the book of Bamidbar. You see, when the Jewish people one day are complaining to Moshe, they say, "Zachanu et hadargah asher nochal b'chinam." We remember the fish that we used to eat plenty. The kishuim, the cucumbers, the garlic, the melon, and the onion. So, if you wanted to know what the Jewish people ate when they were in Egypt, it was fish, it was cucumber, it was melon, it was garlic, and it was leek. Now, I didn't want to put all of them into one dish because that would just be disgusting. Melon and leek, yeah. But that is why we are doing the salmon gravadlax with this cucumber, and then you'll soon see the onion salad into it. So, keep chopping all the way through until you've chopped the entire cucumber. I like to have a mix of some really, really thin bits, but also some slightly meatier, thicker chunks as well. This will feed probably about 6 people as a side dish, maybe 4 if you are feeling really hungry or greedy, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Trust me, you'll want to have more. Get all of your cucumber slices and put them into a pot, into a bowl. I like to use one of these. You'll see why in a moment. Get it all in, all the way to the top. Now, You're going to need an onion, but an onion in truth would be too sharp, so I'm going to use a shallot. Again, just thinly slice the shallot and put it in with the rest of the cucumber. This will add a bit of balance to it, but in truth, if you don't want to put it in, it's not going to destroy the cucumber salad. I just think it adds a little bit of flavour. That's why I like to add it, but it's not a need to have, it's a nice to have. So, very quickly, one gesunte shallot, one really large shallot being thinly chopped, being added to the cucumber mix. Into your bowl or into your pot, you want to add in a tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using cider vinegar, but in truth, any vinegar will work. So 1, 2, and then finally a teaspoon of salt. And I like to get a good shake of some dried dill. If you want a rough estimate, I'd say probably about a tablespoon of dried dill. Get a lid, and this is why I like to use this. Give it a really, really, really good shake. What you want to do is leave this on the side for about 5 hours. Do not put it in the fridge straight away. If you put it in the fridge straight away, it takes much, much longer to work. And what's going to happen is you're suddenly going to notice a load of liquid at the bottom. After 5 hours, give it another shake, and then you can leave it in the fridge ready till leave it until you're ready to eat it. It probably takes about 12 hours of marinating before it is finally ready. Taste one of the cucumbers. If you find it too sharp, add a bit more sugar in and give it a good shake. If you find it too sweet, add a bit more salt in or a bit more vinegar and give it another shake. So, there we have it. Salmon gravadlax, cucumber salad, ready to go in the fridge, and I will show you the finished product a little bit later. Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. So it's been about 36 hours and let me show you a couple of things that have happened. Firstly, look at my pot of cucumber. If you remember, before it went into the fridge, it was pretty much filled to the top. Those cucumbers have shrunk. There's now a beautiful sauce in there and it's beautiful pickled cucumber. So simple, so easy. But let me show you this. I'm super excited about this. Here you've got it. My Beetroot cured Gravadlax. This is beautiful. What you do is you wash it slowly under the sink to get rid of any remaining salt or sugar, and then very thinly slice the top so you get these beautiful bits of salmon. Now you want to use a super sharp knife to do it, and I like to just shave it across the top to be able to get these beautiful bits of salmon. You don't need to buy smoked salmon. This is so much better than smoked salmon. You don't need to buy posh Gravadlax because, well, you've just made it yourself for a fraction of the price. So get a few beautiful slits of salmon. It cuts so beautifully. And get some cucumber. This is so exciting. If you add a bit of rye bread or a bit of sourdough, this will go amazing. That cucumber pickle looks beautiful. Let's try and get a bit of the onion out as well. And let me show you. Here you've got it. My cured salmon Gravadlax homemade cucumber salad. This is a stunning snack. This is a beautiful dish. Make it for Shemot. Shabbat Shalom.